I spent 29 years building a business, and then one day it was gone. Not because I wanted to stop, but because the world changed and just took it with it. At that time, I really believed I had lost everything, not just the income, but the identity, the routine, the purpose I had built my life around. But looking back now, I can honestly say God had a different plan. It may have been one of the best things that ever happened to me. My name is Dan, and on this channel, I share things I've experienced, lessons I've learned, things I've bought and liked, and places I've gone, and things I'm still learning along the way. If that kind of content resonates with you, consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here. So for most of my life, I worked for myself. I ran sales crews for newspaper subscriptions. It's a very unique business. And what I did is I recruited mostly teenagers. I would pick them up from their home after school. We'd go out into different neighborhoods together and offer subscriptions. Now, what we were really doing was giving those kids an opportunity. Yes, they were offering newspaper subscriptions, but what they were really gaining was life experience. I watched shy kids who could barely look someone in the eye learn how to knock on a door, introduce themselves, and have a real conversation with someone. I watched them get rejected over and over again and be able to handle those objections. And instead of shutting down, they learned how to smile, say thank you, answer another objection, and then if they didn't get the sale, they moved on to another home and watched their confidence grow anyway. They were earning money. On average, these kids were earning anywhere from $50 to $300 a week, but more than that, they were learning how to believe in themselves. They learned responsibility, showing up on time, being dependable, learning how to save their money, and they learned how to work towards goals, not only individually, but as a team as well. Some of them stayed with me for a long time, and a few of them even grew into crew managers themselves, including my oldest son. And I can tell you there's something special about watching a young person grow like that. It wasn't just a business for me. It really was something truly I cared about. But over time, things started to change. Newspaper delivery, especially in the Detroit area, maybe even other areas around the country, started to really slowly disappear. And eventually, I lost a couple contracts and eventually lost all of them. They were just gone, just like that. 29 years of work over. And the hardest part was, it wasn't just me. I had my crew managers, like I said, my son and a couple of his friends and other people that were working with us. They just no longer had that opportunity. And we had over 50 kids working with me. And to be honest, I didn't handle it very well in the beginning because I had tied so much of who I was to what I did. And when that was gone, I just kind of felt lost. I tried different things, different business ideas, but I was putting so much pressure on myself to replace what I had lost that I just really never did focus. Nothing felt right. I was just still holding on to what used to be. And at the same time, life outside of work wasn't easy either. Had gone through a divorce. I was paying child support and alimony. I was trying to figure out a relationship, and everything just felt heavy all the time. I did meet someone who I really cared about, but the pressures and the stress that I was under and not wanting to get a job eventually took its toll, and that relationship ended too. And at some point, everything just kind of caught up with me. Financially, emotionally, mentally, I stretched things just too far and ended up going through a bankruptcy. And that's not a place, you don't want to, that anybody wants to be. We try to avoid it all the time, right? But looking back, that was also the moment where things finally started to change for me, because for the first time, I stopped trying to force everything. I stopped trying to recreate the past and asked myself a different question. Not how do I get back to where I was? But what do I actually need right now in my life? And the answer kind of surprised me. What I needed was just a little bit of stability for a while. So I did something I had resisted for years. I got a job. I became a motor coach driver of all things. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect at first, but something interesting happened. I found peace in it. Because when I finish my day, I go home, I don't have to worry about anything. I'm done. There's no constant pressure. I don't have to plan for tomorrow, no unfinished list running through my mind. I go home, I relax, I get a good night's sleep, because that's one thing you need, and I wake up ready for the next day. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I could breathe again. At the same time, I didn't stop building. I just changed how I was building and what I was building. I started a couple of YouTube channels. I got into vermicomposting, something I'm still learning about every day. All of them, really, I'm learning about. But this time there wasn't any desperation behind it. No pressure to make it work right now or you're going to go broke, right? It was a desire to learn, to grow, and to enjoy the process again. I also started simplifying my life. I reduced my expenses, got rid of things I didn't need, and I began focusing more on my health, what I eat, how I eat, being more consistent with my exercise. I found something that works for me. With intermittent fasting, which I just became a whole new lifestyle, and a gym that I actually look forward to going to. And maybe one of the biggest blessings of all was meeting someone very special who shares many of the same values and goals that I do. We're both excited about life. I'm 68, she's 76, and we're planning more, I'm planning more, we're dreaming more and looking forward more to things in the future than ever before. I took a trip whitewater rafting through the Grand Canyon. That was phenomenal. Took a train ride on an Amtrak across the country. We went to the Hot Air Albuquerque Balloon Festival, which was freaking amazing. Now we're going to Alaska. And we just get out, we hike, snowshoe, explore, bike ride, walk. And I found a place on the water so I can enjoy the sunrises every day. So God's been a huge part of my life, even when things didn't make sense. Even when I felt lost, there was just something guiding me forward. I always prayed. I always looked, I could see where he was. And if I could share a few things, that your identity is not lost in your business, because when that business goes away or that job goes away, if that's all you had, it can feel like you're lost, like you've lost yourself. And I felt that. But over time I realized, hey, there's still more in me. There was still more life to live, and there were still new things to build, just in a different way. There's also nothing wrong with choosing stability. For a long time, I thought getting a job meant I had failed. But what I found was it actually gave me some peace. It gave me room to think again, to breathe again, to rebuild again, without all the pressure. Sometimes the thing we resist the most is exactly what we need the most at the time. And maybe the biggest one is this: you can start over at any age. As I said, I'm 68 years old, and I'm planning more, dreaming more, and looking forward to more than I ever have before. And if you're in a place right now where something didn't work out, or something ended abruptly, or you just feel like you're starting over, I just want to say this to you: it's not over. It might feel like it, but it's not. There may be something ahead of you that you can't even see yet, that ends up being better than what you lost. And that doesn't mean it's easy. It wasn't easy for me. There were years where I struggled, where I doubted myself, where I didn't know what was next. But if you stay with it, if you keep moving forward, things can change. Your life can change, and sometimes in ways you never expected. Through all of it, for me, God has been there. Even when I didn't fully understand it at the time. It's kind of why I started my prayer channel. There was a path being laid out, and I can see that more clearly now. So wherever you are right now, just keep going. Take the next step, then the next one after that. You've heard that before. You don't have to have it all figured out today. Just don't stop. Don't stop. So if any part of this resonate with you, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like the video, leave a comment, and share it with somebody that might be in the same situation, who just might need to hear this. And if you want more content like this, I put out new videos every Monday and Thursday, and sharing real experiences, real lessons, things I'm still learning, and also things I purchased, places I've gone, things I've really loved, and even some things that not so much. So if that sounds like something that you'd enjoy, go ahead and subscribe. And thanks for being here with me today. I'm Dan from Michigan, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, have a phenomenal day.